Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Prairie State Tractor. If you guys need me, I will be on the computer working on some part transfers between this location and our Dixon location. They got some parts on hand that we don't for some of our projects in the shop, which making our way over there. It is a beautiful day in April. Moving out to the shop, we have a full amount of projects on the job board. If we head into our service area, we could kind of take a peek at that entire circus. The ones we're focusing on primarily right now are the two final combine inspections of the year. We know obviously we could have a couple more come in on random, but these were the last two scheduled ones that we had on the plan book. This 8245R has seen better days. It ran too hot for too long, and I think there's going to be some warpage in the block because this thing had oil dripping all over it. And that to me seems like gaskets failed and not a pretty fix. The 8430, general maintenance. This 1770 is going to have a liquid fertilizer pump plumbed in. This will be Daryl and I's job and probably later this week. If not, hit it on today. Then we have two motor rebuilds, one with a 330 Deer and this poor old 350X. I know it's not having a happy time right now, but somebody did something fierce to this front axle. I really just don't know what that mower did to deserve that, but we will have to replace his entire front suspension. 4650 quad range, this thing has just, it came back to the shop. It's throwing even more problems at us. And then there's our rusted Model A find, which is not really going anywhere anytime soon. There's just too many projects in the shop to really be putting any time into that or the 4650. Let's check that job board again and see what I need to do, because until we have the parts show up from the Dixon location, I do not have anything to do in the front office. So Buck. Where is Buck? Buck is working with Daryl on the combine. Very nice. Let's pop up in the cab with Daryl in the STS, see where he's at. I tell you what, that dome light is bright because that just like makes the whole steering wheel logo light up. Durable, how much left do we have on this combine? Is it pretty close, or are we looking at probably another couple hours? I think all we have left on that checklist should be to run the codes to see whether or not anything pops up on our reader. Sounds smooth and operational. All of our lights are clear. There is no Christmas tree light ups. Unlike Grant's. To be fair though, all he had to do was basically put the bypass sensor to that straw swather in the back. And then they wouldn't have had to deal with all that dang beeping. I'm gonna shut all of my panels. There we go. And this can go out in the customer pickup area. You wouldn't really think, but this thing takes up quite a bit of space in that shop. Oh! Well, don't mind me, but it looks like our load of Andy Clean has actually arrived. We did. Perfect. I'll see if my buddy got the buddy's got doors open. Thank you, sir. We'll get that unloaded. So we've been running low on pressure washer soap, but don't you worry. We have ourselves a full pallet of Andy Clean ready to go. Need to climb up and get the strap off first. There we go. We got our soap out into the shop. We'll see you guys in just a bit. Now, if you guys like content like this, would love to see more of the Prairie State Tractor series, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. We haven't been back on the Prairie State Tractor series in a while now. This series is always one where it's kind of hard for me to make videos on it, solely due to the fact that I'm not a John Deere technician. I don't work on a farm. I am a regular average Joe doing his best to just think about what it looks like to actually work on a farm at a dealer. So I try my best, and if you guys do enjoy that, then be sure to give the old channel a follow. I will unload these jugs later. I'm just going to take the straps off so that way we can maybe move them to the parts room. But we will let the truck driver know that he can take off, and we can move on with our day. Buddy, you are set to go. And there he goes. And he is off to the races. Speaking of semis, though, we did end up trading off our Mac by sending it over to our other dealer, and we ourselves are getting a brand new truck. Of course, he's blocked by an object, because why on earth would any driver not get blocked by an object? Scratch off the STS, and I'm going to move over to the S-Series with Kevin. get that thing knocked out and out of here over into the customer pickup bay. And then we could start planning ahead the rest of our day with the projects that are upcoming.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
Now that the combines are officially both out of the shop, I'm going to take a peek at this 8245, or at least the progress on it. This was assigned to Nate, and I'm just going to pop up in the cab and see if there's anything that I can look at from the inside that might give me a little bit of a data log. So let's plug into the bottom. Engine management, where might you be? There you are. Okay, let's have our reader. Let's see what this is pulling across. Do we have the same data that's coming up on the monitor as we do have coming off my reader? By the looks of it, yes. The majority of it, it's reading about the same, but it's not what I want to see. It sounds half decent, but I mean, look at the exhaust pipe shaking. That's not usually a good sign when your exhaust pipe is rattling really bad. It's usually also an exhaust leak. So I don't know if it was on the back end. We could have a bent valve. It'll really just depend. But I'm gonna turn that off before anything else breaks. Nate, you just keep working on this. I'm gonna head into town with Kevin, and we're gonna go and see that new semi that we bought. Sounds good, bud. We'll see you. Thank you. So while they're working on that, Kevin and I are going to take the Ford on the far side. We'll make a quick trip into town and pick up our brand new semi. I want to take a quick moment to thank one of today's big channel sponsors, which is MOZA Racing. MOZA actually hooked me up with their brand new truck simulator steering wheel, which is mounted to their R9 V2 direct drive wheel hub base. This has been a very beneficial wheel to the channel. I love the build quality of this thing. You guys have seen me play with this on stream, I think once, maybe twice for YouTube, but for TikTok, the TikTokers, you guys have seen this wheel almost 3-4 weeks now in a row. And I've yet to have one real complaint. My only thing that I've really had problems with is just the adjustment and the adaptability of learning a new wheel compared to the old one. So if you guys want to check out MOZARacing.com to get yourself a real high quality built wheel, then there are links to this product that you guys can find down in the description down below. I have worked with a few companies before, but the level of patience and dedication this company has had with me so far is above and beyond the Call of Duty. I've been having how many different problems happen in the last few weeks, and they're just like, that's all right. We'll work through this. But arriving now at Cleaver Motors, I think you guys kind of see that little orange spot on the left side. We bought a Kenworth. And not just any Kenworth, the 2020 Kenworth W990. The Mac that we've had, it did a really good service for us, but I think it was just time to start upgrading a little bit. And this Kenworth came up for sale. We had to bite on it. I mean, look at this beautiful rig. Our one complaint is that it is a 13-speed PACCAR. I would have liked to see a Cummins in this truck, but we'll see how well that turns out over time. It came up, it was the right price, and I mean, it's just a very beautiful truck. Very low miles, and I think this will be a very fine addition to this dealer's fleet. I'm just gonna have Kevin follow me home, and we'll make our way back to the dealer. Level of quality of this Kenworth mod is literally second to none. I really do like it though, because when I shift with the MOZA shifter, which is a 7-speed, this truck skips 2 gears every time you shift. So by the time I'm done shifting to the 7th gear, it puts me in 13th gear. But like, both seats in this truck are air ride. You guys can get this truck. It's completely public. It's a PC only mod, but it's a completely public truck, and I highly recommend you guys check this thing out. There might be a truck swap on Nebraska series. I can smell one. It's close. Oh yeah, that'll do. That will do nicely. Nate, what's the update on this? Have you gotten any numbers back on whether or not this thing has a cracked head, warped head? What do we have? What happened? Still haven't found it yet. That's nice. Well, don't worry about it. Just keep looking. We'll We'll track down the problem at some point. I gotta go check the parts counter because I think there's actually an order of... We had a couple zero turns that we ordered for the spring season that is literally right around the corner. But we got our front mounted mowers that are in, and there's gonna be a couple we'll probably just stick out towards the road, and maybe one or two we'll keep inside. Let's check inventory. Where is that? Mowers? Yep, there they all are. We have 6 Z235 Z-Tracks. These are just residential grade, and it's John Deere's. I would say it's the correct version of a John Deere residential lawnmower where the decks are still yellow on them. But that'll be working nicely. We just have to wait for that order to show up. Other than that, I am going to start working towards the back part shed and getting that fertilizer tank that we have ready to go for the 1770 NT so we can start working on plumbing that. Daryl should be... Daryl, you ready if we were to start working with that fertilizer system? Can I go run over there with the forklift and grab the pallet for that? That'd work just... Okay, I'll be over there in a bit. Luckily, that thing is only a 16 row, not a 24, not a 48. It's not like plumbing 16 rows is going to be fun in the slightest, but you live and you learn. You make it happen, you get it done. It's our job, isn't it? Let's see. Well, there's a seed tank. There's an auger. There's tires. Did I not? Oh, it's behind the JLG. I got it. I found it. I do want to note that I am kind of surprised we haven't gotten a whole lot of planter work yet this year. As soon as I, of course, say that, we're going to have like 15 planters show up to either be bought and shipped out or to be worked on because somebody broke something and they don't want to fix it on their own farm. But it's more money for us, nonetheless. I just know we've already done one of these before, and I think it was on a DB60, because we also put the Refuge extra seed tank up front. The lot's thinned out pretty well over the last couple weeks. I believe we sold off the, what would be a 9RT, but except it's the 9R 30 series tractor. We sold off a few 8Rs, and so on and so forth. But this thing, this is going to be fun. Because if we pop up top, our tank is going to mount roughly right in the middle of this main brace. But before we even think about attaching this, we are going to pre-plumb and get all 16 rows with the application and run those wires back up. So once we have the tank installed, all we really have to do is just plug it in and this thing should be ready to go. So Daryl, you want to start passing me those hoses and we're just going to start feeding this thing through and getting it set up. Watch out for the ridge marker. Perfect. Daryl and I are going to keep working on this, guys. We'll see you when either the mowers show up or we're ready to put the fertilizer tank on.
A few moments later.
Daryl, I am pretty dang sure that I know how to tighten a bolt. It is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, not lefty-tighty, you mess it up because you're a loser, okay? Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. Right? Hang on. Yeah. Wait. Hey! Actually, okay, you do this, because I'm not dealing with you. Plus, I gotta go get those mowers off. The mowers just showed up. Oh, I love working with Daryl, but sometimes that man drives me absolutely nuts. Yep, here is our easy tracks. Our 235s just showed up. I have to get the ramps down. And I'm also gonna start by getting these things unstrapped. That might also be a good place to start. I don't know why there's a 3010 on this, but they must be taking it somewhere else as well. Hey, buddy, you mind dropping the ramps on this thing? Thank you, sir. I'm going to get these off. I don't know if I'm actually going to put them away yet, but I am going to at least try and get these mowers off the trailer. That's a good place to start, right after I bottom it out. And just like my college career, there it goes. I'm sorry I had to. We'll get the rest of these mowers situated in just a little bit. We have other priorities to do by getting this fertilizer tank plumbed in. We have all of our plumbing to the 16 rows done. So now all there really is left to do is get this up in the air. We just have the hookups for the main refuge tank that just need to be plugged in. And that revolves around putting the tank up on the frame. So let's get the tank up and bolted down. And then this thing is ready to go. I don't think I'm going to have to take off the ridge markers for this. It's going to be a minute. We'll catch you guys back once we get the tank at least set on the frame, and then we can like tighten everything down and talk about it as we go. But until we get this situation planned out, we can't really mess around with this. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Later.
So just a little bit more. You're almost there. Perfect. I know it's a slightly different design of tank. I only had one that sat on a pallet. But the tank has been attached. We have also worked out our plumbing. We move away the forklift. There is our lines. Run to the back of the seeder. This thing is ready to plant and also ready to apply liquid fertilizer. Just got to get a tractor in here so that we can get this out, and because this is a 3-point mount, not a drawbar. I'll probably take the 8320 just because we can kind of move around a little bit easier with the track system. With this planter completed, that puts the last check mark on our projects for the week. So unless we get anything else, that's pretty much wrapped up for us in the service shop. I'm going to try and navigate this thing out of here without destroying anything. You know, kind of like putting my suitcase weight right into the center of a fire extinguisher. That's always a smart idea. But guys, I think that is going to do it for us today at Prairie State Tractor. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As mentioned, if you guys did like this kind of a content, you have some ideas on what we could actually do for the dealer series within reason, because 1, it's farm sim, and 2, I'm not a farmer or a technician, so this is all just for entertainment purposes only. Remember that farming does not have to be dirty. We'll get these things all Andy cleaned up. You guys would like to check out the world's greatest farm soap, also be sure to check out Andy Clean, which can be found in the description down below. That is going to do it for me though, guys. We will see you all later. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.